Original sin. Fruit of the tree of knowledge. The fruit is the child. The tree is the Catholic Church. How do I know that? Well, let me explain real quick. In Roman law, the first name is, or the praenomen, is known as the individual. And I said this Monday night, but I'm going to try to be a little clearer tonight. In Roman law, the first name, the praenomen, is the name of the individual, not to be confused with the individual on a 1040 tax form or an IRS form. That individual is a completely separate, a completely different individual. It has all three names in that case. But in Roman law, the individual consists of a singular first name or praenomen. So in my case, my individual name in Roman law is Kurtis. That's it. Now, the name in the second position, the name that holds second position, is called the cognomen. The cognomen in the Roman law is known as the family name. The family name. So in my case, or the family name is Kallenbach. So when you put the praenomen and the cognomen together, you have both the individual name and the bloodline or family from which to which he belongs. That's it. Two names. When you start adding more than two, you start creating different things like titles and locations and everything. Well, let's just go one step further. If I move the name in second position, the second degree, if I move Kallenbach, my family name, into third position and squeeze in another name that most Americans believe to be their middle name, which is sometimes referred to as a baptismal name, in my case, that middle name is called Richard. So I got Kurtis Richard Kallenbach. Well, what happens in a Roman law is that the Richard now displaces my family name, and now Richard becomes my family name. And the pledged name, the baptismal name, Richard, belongs specifically to the Catholic Church. More specifically, it belongs to the Jesuits. So what's funny is that I have my individual praenomen, Kurtis, and I've displaced my family name, Kallenbach, to third position, and I've replaced the family with a new family. And it's the Catholic Church via the baptismal name, the pledged name, the Society of Jesus name, the Jesuit name, Richard. Now I've identified my family. My family is the Catholic Church. Thus, my father would be the one that's heading that particular family. It's the Pope. And also I've identified my mother, which is the Church or Mary. So now I've now, the original sin goes up quite clearly. I've now partaken or eaten the fruit, the child of the family or of the tree of knowledge. The tree is the Catholic Church, and knowledge is possession. When I lived through Kurtis Richard Kallenbach, I have possession, which is knowledge. I have the child. I am the child. I'm assuming to be the child, and I've claimed my family, which is the Catholic Church. That's original sin. Why? Because I've done, if you know your Ten Commandments, the easiest one to think about right now is honor thy father and mother. You have destroyed that relationship by claiming a different bloodline, a different family, a different father, for crying out loud. I mean, if you take a baptismal name on as yourself, besides claiming the discarded DNA as yourself, what you've done is you've actually claimed the church as your family, and you've dishonored yourself completely. Not only that, you've adulterated yourself, because what is adulteration? It's the mixing of elements that don't belong together. The bloodlines. You've taken a pure lineage, the Kallenbach line, and you've mixed it with this fictitious church abomination. And so, I mean, you can think of it as a cross if you'd like, because if the word cross also means adulteration. It's in a cross. It's a cross between. And so I've mixed both the fictional and the real. I've adulterated my own blood. In the constitutional law, they would call it a corruption of blood, which is subject to attainder, which is death. So all these things start to come into play when I claim a different family. When I claim the Catholic Church, when I claim the baptismal name, when I claim any element of that aspect, I have changed who I am. And